If you want to make sales with your podcast, unfortunately, you can't just record whatever comes to your mind. You need podcast episodes that are designed to turn listeners into buyers, and I'm about to give you the 5 types of podcast episodes that do exactly that. Be sure to watch until the end because number 1 is my absolute favorite, and that's going to be the one to build you the most trust, the most connection with your listeners, and it could potentially be the one to make you the most sales. By the way, if you want a detailed list of these 5 podcast episode types with plug and play examples, prompts, and scripts that you can literally copy into your own podcast, I've actually put this resource inside of my free school community. So if you click the link in the description to get inside of the free school community, once you answer 3 really quick questions, head over to the classroom tab, click on the She Records vault, then you're going to want to find where it says 5 episode types that sell. That's where you'll find the detailed list, examples, and plug and play scripts for these 5 podcast episode types so you can start using them right away with your own podcast. Again, the link is in the description, or you can go to school.com. That's SKOOL.com/podcasters. All right, so number 5 is myth busting episodes. These types of episodes tackle the lies, the misconception, and the outdated advice in your industry. By debunking this often really bad advice, you actually end up positioning yourself as the go-to person that your audience can trust. So here are some examples from a health coach. A myth-busting episode topic might be why cardio isn't the fastest way to lose weight. I think a myth out there is that cardio is the quickest way to lose weight, right? So creating episode titles that really contradict what people know and believe to be the truth. Or another myth-busting episode type for a podcast title would be why eating late at night actually isn't bad for you, right? Because isn't that what they say? Don't eat after 8 p.m. If you eat late, then, I don't know, the fat sits in your belly and it's not good for you. Like you should stop eating after 8 p.m. So creating a title that is going to get clicked, but also, having the content inside of that episode as well to contradict whatever advice. I'm not saying to go make those episodes, by the way. I'm just saying that's an example of what a myth-busting episode would be. Myth-busting episodes work because it shifts your audience's belief. It gets them thinking differently, and oftentimes that is the first step to them saying yes to your offer. Type number 4 is transformational stories. These episodes tell a story of, you guessed it, transformation. It could be your own, it could be a client's, or it could even be a well-known case in your industry to show what's really possible. Here's an example, again, coming from the perspective of a health coach. How I helped a busy mom of 3 lose 20 pounds without giving up pasta, or how I helped a mom lose weight without her giving up her favorite foods, or some variation of that, right? Because wouldn't it be really cool to lose weight and then still eat the foods that you love that people say are bad for you? So that totally contradicts the popular opinion. Those episode titles actually would work really well for myth busting as well, because that's also contradictory, right? Like you can't eat food that's bad for you when you're trying to lose weight. So that'd be actually a really great myth busting episode too. But these episode titles also speak to transformation. So the person was at point A and now they're at point Z, meaning your client went through some type of transformation. And yes, I just said your client. So it could be your client. It could also be you. How I did this, or how I overcame this, or here's what I did to reach this, showing some type of transformation, whether that's from your perspective or from your client's perspective. And it works really well both ways. But the point here is to show the before and after transformation. And you want to do it in a really relatable way that inspires action. I don't know about you, but I sure want to know how this health coach was able to help this mom, this woman, lose weight without giving up her favorite foods, without giving up pasta. So it makes you interested and it makes you invested in the transformation. And then it also allows you to see yourself in that transformation as well. You want your dream listener to come across your transformational episodes and say, oh my gosh, like I need to know how she was able to do that because I want the same thing for myself. Type number 3 is problem solution deep dives. These are the types of episodes that you take the problem that your dream podcast listener has and you walk them through a clear, actionable plan with a solution. Generally, this is something that they can implement right away. Another example from a health coach's perspective would be the 3-step meal planning method for busy moms. Or, and this is a really good one, how to end that 3 p.m. crash once and for all without picking up another cup of coffee. I don't even really drink coffee that much. And that title is like, wow, like that's pretty powerful, right? Because lots of moms drink coffee, right? I feel like everybody says, reheat your coffee or like your coffee's cold or whatever. So that like it's going to speak to people. When you solve one specific problem at a time in detail, you position yourself as the go-to expert. Type number 2, behind the scenes episodes. These are one of my favorite episodes to do because not only are they relatable, but they're actionable, or at least you can create them in a way where they're actionable, where it's not just you unloading, right? Like behind the scenes, but it's also you giving value to the people who are watching your behind the scenes so that maybe they can learn from it. Maybe they take inspiration. Maybe they have some action steps that they can take so that they don't do the same thing, so they can do the same thing, whatever that looks like. But I know personally, my audience really loves the behind the scenes episodes because they put themselves in my shoes and it's like we're doing it together. And it's like, we're not alone. We're not doing this alone. You're not going through something alone. My audience loves when I get really nitty gritty and into the back end of my business and show them what's working, what's not working, what I'm choosing to do and why. And they really love it because, again, they feel like they're not alone. This is the entire reason why I started my free community over on School, because when you are a woman, a mom, when you are running a business, you simply just can't do it alone. Otherwise, it is hard, it is lonely, and you burn out and get overwhelmed and frustrated and all the things really fast. So this can also save a lot of time, right? Because as a business owner, I also am creating multiple things. So even though I'm a business owner, I'm still creating things and coming up with new ideas that maybe people don't really have or hasn't really been done before. And so, for example, I have the coolest idea for my summit that is going to be coming up in 2026. And I'm nervous about it, but I'm really excited because it's something that I haven't seen done. And so I'm going to be talking about it. I'm going to be recording an episode about it and just really taking my people behind the scenes. And it's going to shine light on my personality, but also I feel like it's just going to be so helpful because other people are having the same questions or the same thoughts. And so again, by taking the behind the scenes, they don't feel so alone. And sometimes it might be the exact thing somebody needs to hear. So they're like, okay, well, now I know what to do, or now I don't feel so unclear anymore. And one of the things that is kind of like the golden nugget that I feel like not a lot of people do, right, is, again, as business owners, myself included, like I create a lot of stuff. And so whether that be like a new group, a new community, or a new program, a new lead magnet, such a missed thing is to create a podcast episode about that thing. So especially if your podcast is designed to complement your business, and you create something for said business, whatever that might be, whether that's a digital product, a physical product, maybe it's like a webinar, a masterclass, maybe it's an email series, or I don't know, maybe you started a Facebook group, maybe you created a PDF and you want to, grow your email list, like you just finished your website. Create an episode about it and tell people about it, because those episodes are really going to resonate and you're going to be surprised about how many people actually care and how many people that you could actually be helping with creating that type of content and releasing those types of episodes, because nobody is going to know about the thing if you don't tell them. So if you create something, again, especially if it's in line with your business and you have a podcast, record an episode about it. And it builds so much trust and credibility to release these types of episodes. And with all the AI things going on right now and with how fast AI is moving, people connect with people and people want that human connection now more than anything. So to me, those episodes are super valuable and unmatched. Like that cannot be replicated. AI cannot do this for you. And so your dream listeners are going to love it. So this type of episode really pulls back the curtains on your business and who you are as a person. Building your personal brand, which is something I don't really talk about on my podcast or on this YouTube channel, but it's something that needs to be talked about because that's what it is. It's building a personal brand because people are buying from people. And people love knowing like the processes that you use, the systems that you use, and even any like personal stuff that you're comfortable sharing, by the way. So these episode types are really meant to pull back the curtains on your business and who you are as a person and building up that connection and that trust, because you are doing that. You're showing your human side, you're showing your creativity, and you're building that credibility all at the same time in the same episode. And that right there is so incredibly powerful. All right. Are you ready for number 1? This one is my absolute favorite, and it is client case studies. I cannot even tell you how underrated and underused this strategy is. It blows my mind that nobody really does this. And I tell my clients all the time that one of the best ways to build trust with your audience, in addition to solo episodes and creating that listener journey that they need to go through, is having your past clients on your show as a guest. For example, I'm personally going to be doing more of this. The people that I work with one-on-one, I'm going to give them the spotlight on my show and have them talk about their podcast and, why they started and what their struggles were, and just talk through all of that. At the same time, I'm going to be asking them questions that not only showcase who they are and what they do and what their podcast is about, but also highlight me as the expert, right? Because I'm the one who provided them that transformation. And this is also really cool because this is basically a behind the scenes episode and a transformational episode all in one. To be honest with you, depending on if it's like a myth busting type of deal, you're honestly hitting all 4 of these other podcast episode types with a client case study, because you are deep dive problem solving, you are sharing a transformation, and you're doing a behind the scenes episode, and it's with a client who you provided the transformation. So it's literally hitting 4 out of those 5 episode types all in one. And so that's why I'm such a fan of client case study episodes, because by doing that, you're not only allowing them to be visible with their business if they have one. Maybe they don't have one. Even if they don't have a business, it's still giving them the opportunity to share their voice, which is the number one reason why I love podcasting so much, is because you don't even have to get behind the camera if you don't want to. You can literally show up right behind this microphone and you don't need any makeup. You don't need to do anything except to bring your voice. And so how cool is that you can highlight that for somebody else, also sharing that with the world and highlighting you as the expert. It's like the best scenario when it comes to building that trust and credibility with your listeners. And so I'm actually kind of a different breed because I don't have just anybody on my podcast. I've always had the rule that it's going to be one of my clients that are on my podcast. I did do guest episodes in January for the Moms Who Podcast Summit, which actually turned out really well and grew my podcast. It like doubled my podcast growth by having those guest episodes on there and just by hosting the summit as a whole. But outside of those guest episodes, I actually don't have guest episodes on my show. Like, I'm very much a solo episode type of person. Interviews make me I don't even know the word. Is it uneasy? Is it like nervous? I don't know. It's all of the above. But it's funny because every single time I go to do an interview, I'm so nervous. And then once it starts, I'm in my habitat. Like I'm right where I should be. And then once it ends, I'm like, yeah, I'm really glad I did that. But everything leading up to that interview, I'm telling you, it gives me so much anxiety. But we cannot let that hold us back, because those episodes really are going to grow our show in so many different ways. And also, if you play your cards right, when you have somebody come on your show, you can have things set in place to where they're already prepared to share about the episode after it airs, because that's what we want, right? We want people to come on our show, but then afterwards, we would hope that they would share about it. And most people don't take the time to share about the show they were on because they just simply want the visibility. And I've seen this time and time again. So making sure that you have that process set up, or that flow set up, so that they can actually share after the episode goes live, is something that you can try the best of your ability to make sure that happens, so that you can get the most reach out of that episode. So have your clients on your podcast, talk about that transformation, because you are going to be positioned as the expert. So this is different than your general guesting episode where, two people are kind of just talking and there's no outshining anybody or anything like that. It's complementary. And that's what you want. You want people on your show to complement your show, not people who are in direct quote unquote competition of what we do, but you want people who align with your show naturally. So have your clients on your podcast, talk about that transformation, and you're going to be positioned as the expert who provided that solution. And more importantly, your listener is going to be able to put themselves in your client's shoes. It's social proof that it's real, so it's not AI manufactured, it's not fake, that you didn't just make up some story. It's actually a live person telling about their experience about working with you. So it's really the best of both worlds. Your clients get visibility while you get that authority and credibility. And that's exactly why client case study episodes are so powerful. because they're real stories with real results and real proof that what you do actually works. So if you're watching this and you're ready for clarity and hands-on support with your podcast, whether you're just starting out and haven't yet launched your podcast, or if you're ready to optimize your existing podcast, click the link in the description to work with me one-on-one. That will take you directly to my website where you can inquire if you're interested in working together. And together, we're going to make sure that your podcast is aligned with your business and designed to consistently bring in clients. If you haven't already, be sure to hit subscribe so that you never miss a video, and I will see you in the next one, my friend. Bye.